What's coming might split you in two, and that's exactly the point. The sun has just entered Gemini, and that's not a casual cosmic update. It's a full-blown shift in mental frequency. This isn't just astrology talk. This is electromagnetic reality. When the sun moves signs, it changes the solar imprint on your nervous system, your thoughts, your conversations, your very sense of self. And Gemini, it doesn't come quietly. It spins, it stirs, it awakens parts of your mind you didn't even know were asleep. Right now, your brain might feel like it's speeding up and slowing down at the same time. You start a sentence and forget how it ends. You want to learn everything and nothing. You feel hyper-aware, yet oddly spaced out. That's not a problem. It's a portal, because Gemini isn't here to soothe you. It's here to split the illusion between who you were pretending to be and who you're about to become. And the reason you're seeing this video right now, it's because you're ready. The universe doesn't waste signs. You're being pulled into this because something in you is wired to use these energies, not drown in them. This moment can either spiral you into confusion or spark a reinvention you didn't see coming. The difference lies in how you respond to what I'm about to show you. So before we dive into the 7 signs that this Gemini sun is already affecting you, make sure to like, subscribe, and lock in. Because what you're about to learn isn't just astrology, it's psychological survival. And if you pay attention, you won't just survive Gemini season, you'll dominate it. Ready? Good. Because sign number 1 is already in motion, and chances are it's been messing with your mind all week without you even realizing it. And that shift you're feeling, it didn't wait for permission. It didn't wait for the calendar. The Gemini portal opened early on May 19th, a day before the sun officially hit 0 degrees. Why? Because in cosmic terms, energy doesn't need to be visible to be real. It builds like static before a lightning strike. By the time the bolt lands, the air has already changed. And right now, that energy is moving through you. You might have noticed it already, the quickening of your thoughts, the restlessness in your chest, the urge to check your phone more than usual, even if there's no reason. That's Mercury's domain, beginning to light up. And since Gemini is ruled by Mercury, this isn't just a casual shift. It's your entire cognitive system rebooting itself. Taurus season grounded you, yes, but for many, it also trapped them in loops. You wanted peace, but maybe you ended up in procrastination. You wanted stability, but maybe it started feeling like stagnation. That was Earth energy in its shadow form, solid but heavy. And now, Gemini has entered like a mental jailbreak. It says, "You've been still long enough. Now, move." But let's be clear, this isn't chaos. This is movement with meaning. When the sun enters Gemini, it doesn't just light up the sky. It lights up your third eye, your synapses, your capacity to notice connections you couldn't see before. You'll feel like you're suddenly noticing patterns in people's words, reading between the lines, sensing when something's off or when something's calling you. Why? Because the sun in Gemini activates the air element. And air isn't just about intellect. In astrology, it's the breath between moments, the invisible thread that ties intuition and logic together. That's what's being awakened in you. The sun doesn't just enter a sign and leave you untouched. It enters you, your thoughts, your rhythms, your decisions. And Gemini brings the storm, not to tear you down, but to lift the dust, to reveal the hidden, to spin your mind just enough so that when it stops, you're not the same. This is not just seasonal, this is psychological, and it's already begun. So now let's explore how to recognize the exact signs it's affecting you, because once you can see it, you can use it. Sign 1, your brain feels like it's buffering. And just like that, your mind starts slipping. Not in a broken way, in an overloaded way. You walk into a room and forget why. You start a sentence with confidence and abandon it halfway through. You open your laptop to complete one task and end up with 5 tabs open, none finished. That's not laziness. That's not you being off. That's a live system update in real time, and your brain is syncing with a new frequency. Because when the sun enters Gemini, it doesn't just bring light, it brings speed. It turns your mind into a server room that suddenly has to process twice the traffic. Why? Because Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury governs the way neurons fire, how fast we react, and how we transfer thoughts into words, words into action. Right now, your mind is being asked to process more data than usual. More signals, more input, more internal questions, more external noise. And that's not theoretical, it's literally energetic. As the sun moves through Gemini, its rays stimulate the Mercury-ruled systems in your natal chart, triggering heightened mental activity. So if you feel like you're buffering, you are, because your system is downloading new mental patterns while trying to run your current programs at the same time. And here's where it gets tricky. Gemini doesn't just bring ideas, it brings options, endless ones. Should I do this now, or that later? Should I say this, or maybe wait? Should I start this project, or open another tab? This indecision isn't weakness, it's the brain recalibrating its priorities while being flooded with choice. So yes, you're forgetting things, you're losing your words, you're zoning out mid-task. But that's because your brain is learning how to prioritize signal over noise. It's sorting, reorganizing, preparing for new bandwidth. And the wisest thing you can do right now, don't force clarity, don't fight the fog. Because the Gemini sun isn't here to break your focus, it's here to rebuild it on better terms. The buffering, it's temporary, but the mental upgrades coming next, those can change everything. Sign 2, you're restless and don't know why. And the moment your brain starts buffering, your body follows. You sit down to relax, but suddenly you feel the urge to stand up. You lie in bed, but your legs want to move. You can't focus. You're checking your phone. You're walking in circles. But the weird part, you don't even know what you're anxious about. There's no obvious reason, just a quiet urgency humming under your skin. That, right there, is Gemini's nervous electricity. This isn't random, it's deeply biological. In medical astrology, Gemini rules the lungs and the nervous system. That buzzing feeling in your chest, that edge that doesn't go away, it's not in your head, it's in your breath. Gemini energy builds up like pressure in your diaphragm. And when it doesn't move through you, it loops, it becomes restlessness, it becomes anxiety with no name. Right now, your body is trying to do what the cosmos is doing, move. Gemini is a mutable air sign. Its job is to stir, shift, scatter, reconnect. So when the sun enters Gemini, your physical system gets the memo, even if your conscious mind doesn't. And the message is clear, don't stay still too long. But that doesn't mean you need to run marathons or force productivity. It means you need to create outlets for expression. Gemini doesn't ask for perfection, it asks for movement. Talk things out. Take a walk with no destination. Write a paragraph with no plan. Breathe deeply and intentionally. Let your energy move through you, or it will build against you. And here's the deeper danger. If you don't move the energy, stillness turns into self-sabotage. You'll start doubting yourself, overthinking, feeling like you should be doing something, but also paralyzed by options. That tension becomes a trap. But once you understand what's happening, you can flip the script. That restlessness you feel, that's not weakness, it's activation. It's your inner compass telling you, we're ready for something new, let's get moving. You're not lost, You're just being summoned forward by the season, by the sky, by something inside you that's done being stuck. The key isn't stillness, it's directed energy. So instead of asking why you feel restless, ask, where is this energy trying to go? Because the moment you stop resisting it, you'll realize it was never anxiety. It was momentum. Sign 3. Old conversations come back up. And while your body paces and your breath tightens, your mind starts digging through old archives you didn't ask for. Random memories flash. Conversations you thought you were done with suddenly echo in your head. You remember what you should have said, what you wish you hadn't. A text you never answered, a call you never made. It's like your brain opened an old message thread on its own, and now it won't let you close it. This isn't nostalgia. It's not coincidence. It's the Gemini language loop in full force. Gemini, ruled by Mercury, governs how we think, speak, and process dialogue, both with others and with ourselves. And right now, Mercury is in its retrograde shadow phase until early June, which means you're standing at the edge of an energetic wormhole, one that pulls up every unresolved, unspoken, and unfinished thread from the past. But here's the part most people miss. This isn't to torment you, it's to liberate you. See, when Gemini season hits with Mercury in retro shadow, the universe is saying, clean your mental inbox. That lingering tension about what you didn't say to your friend, that email you keep rereading in your head, that closure you thought you didn't need but clearly still crave, it's rising now for a reason, to be released. Because silence can feel safe, but it can also be a prison. And this season wants to hand you the key. Say what wasn't said, but say it with growth, not bitterness, or better yet, realize you no longer need to say it. You've grown, you've evolved, and now the echo is just that, an echo. It doesn't hold power anymore unless you feed it. This is your moment to hit mental close tab, not out of avoidance, but from completion. So when old conversations rise, don't push them away. Listen, learn, ask yourself, is there something left to express? Or is this just a ghost reminding me how far I've come? Because closure doesn't always come in someone else's words. Sometimes it comes in yours, and sometimes it comes in silence you've finally made peace with. Sign 4. You crave connection, but feel drained by people. And just when you finally start to open up, when you feel the urge to reach out, to reconnect, to share your thoughts, you crash. One conversation lights you up. The next one exhausts you. You want to be around people, but you also want to disappear. You're not being flaky. You're not becoming antisocial. You're caught in the Gemini contradiction. Gemini is mutable air, which means it doesn't crave deep emotional dives. It craves movement, exchange, variety. It wants to flit from idea to idea, person to person, experience to experience, like a butterfly sampling every flower. But when you try to go deep, when you try to carry too many emotional weights in this energy, it's like trying to breathe underwater. It drains you fast. What you're feeling isn't social burnout, it's signal overload. Your system is picking up too much from too many people too quickly. Conversations become collisions. Text threads turn into tension. Even silence in someone's tone can feel louder than words. The truth? Not every connection this week is meant to be intimate. Some are meant to be brief. Some are meant to pass through you like wind, not bury themselves in your chest. And that's the art Gemini is teaching you now. Light connection without emotional entanglement. You don't need to give all of yourself to every interaction. You don't need to carry someone's weight just because you can feel it. You are allowed to be social without becoming submerged. So seek people who spark ideas, not confusion. Talk to those who energize you, not those who drain you. Laugh, share, debate, but don't go so deep that you forget who you are in the process. This is a season to explore the outer world while protecting your inner one, to connect without collapsing, to engage without absorbing. And if you feel the need to unplug after too much interaction, honor that. Because protecting your energy isn't avoidance, it's alignment. You're not cold, you're not distant, you're just learning to breathe like air without needing to carry everyone else's storm. Chapter 6. Sign 5. You start second-guessing everything, and just when you think you're getting clarity, it slips again. You replay what you said, you question if you sounded awkward, you rethink that decision you made last week, and suddenly wonder if you should have done the opposite. You look at your goals and feel both inspired and unsure. Welcome to Gemini's twin energy, where the mind splits, not to confuse you, but to expand you. You're not broken, you're awakening, and with that awakening comes options. Gemini doesn't give you a single lane, it gives you a whole intersection. You see 5 choices where you used to see 1. You hear your own voice, but also the voice of your past, your fear, your ambition, your doubt. It's a mental council meeting, and everyone's talking at once. This isn't confusion, it's cognitive awareness magnified. You're receiving more perspectives, more angles, more what-ifs, and while that can feel overwhelming, it's actually a gift, because Gemini sharpens the mind by exposing its contradictions. It shows you both the shadow and the potential in every choice. But here's where most people crash. They try to force decisions during this energetic peak. And that backfires, because Gemini isn't here to push you into action. It's here to show you what exists beyond your usual thinking limits. So if you feel indecisive right now, good. It means your mind is expanding. It means you're not settling for the first thought that shows up. It means you're starting to consider what's true, not just what's easy. This week, your greatest power move is not to act, but to observe. Let ideas marinate. Let emotions settle. Don't rush a yes. Don't force a no. Let clarity land rather than trying to chase it. Because Gemini season isn't testing your confidence. It's building your capacity to hold opposites without panic, to see both sides of the mirror and not lose yourself in the reflection. And when that clarity does arrive, and it won't feel forced. It'll feel like alignment. And you'll know, this decision wasn't made from pressure, it was made from power. Sign 6. You're suddenly obsessed with learning something new. And after all the second guessing, after the split thoughts and mental loops, something flips. Your mind doesn't just question anymore, it hunts. You get this sudden, almost uncontrollable urge to learn. You want to know more, understand deeper, master something new. 1 minute you're watching a documentary, the next you've opened 5 tabs, started a book, saved a podcast, and you're 2 videos into a subject you never even thought you'd be interested in. That's not distraction. That's Gemini's intellectual fire finally lighting up. This is a sign that your mental body is fully online. When the sun moves through Gemini, it doesn't just tweak your mood, it activates the parts of your chart connected to curiosity, cognition, and communication. And suddenly, you're not just craving content, you're craving growth. It's not about mindless scrolling. It's about mental expansion. Your spirit is whispering, we're ready to evolve, and it's using the mind as its first vehicle. This is your personal renaissance season. Gemini doesn't just want you to consume, it wants you to connect the dots. To take what you learn and let it change how you think, how you speak, how you show up. And the timing, it's perfect. All the restlessness, the loops, the indecision, it was clearing space for this, for input that matters, for ideas that actually ignite something in you. This is not a time to waste on empty content. This is the time to finally dive into that thing you've kept putting off. That course, that topic, that skill, that rabbit hole of wonder you swore you'd explore when things slow down. Things won't slow down. They've sped up for a reason. The energy wants movement. Feed it something meaningful, or risk having it consume you with anxiety instead. And when you honor this season by choosing to learn, to question, to grow, you don't just feel smart. You feel alive. Because your curiosity isn't a distraction, it's a compass. And right now, it's pointing toward your next evolution. Sign 7, you feel like two versions of you are arguing, and just when you think you've found your rhythm, it hits, that inner tug of war. One part of you is fired up, ready to build a new life, start a new habit, rewrite your entire future. The other part, it's tired, it wants stillness, it wants to breathe, to pause, to not be pushed so hard. And just like that, you find yourself in the middle of a war between ambition and exhaustion. This isn't laziness, this isn't inconsistency. This is the Gemini paradox in its rawest form. Gemini energy splits the psyche, but not to break you. It splits you so you can see yourself fully. Not just the driven, productive, always-on version, but also the quiet, questioning, softer side that's often ignored in the name of doing more. This week, you may feel like there are two of you, the achiever and the dreamer, the voice that says, "Why aren't you doing more?" And the one that whispers, "Maybe you've done enough for today." This isn't a mistake, it's a mirror. Gemini teaches you how to live in that uncomfortable tension, not by fixing it, but by feeling it without fleeing. Because not every contradiction is a problem to be solved. Some are puzzles meant to be sat with. Some are messages delivered not in answers, but in awareness. You're not failing because you feel torn. You're evolving because you're starting to notice the pull. And the more aware you are of your inner opposites, the more power you have to choose, not from fear, but from wisdom. This is the ultimate Gemini initiation. Can you hold two truths at once without crumbling? Can you want more without hating where you are? Can you chase the next version of yourself without abandoning the current one? The wise ones don't run from duality, they ride it. They let both versions speak, but they don't let either one control the wheel. So if you feel split this week, don't fight it. That crack in your thinking, that friction in your heart, it's the light getting in. You're not breaking, you're becoming. So if you felt scattered, restless, emotional, or pulled in two directions this week, you're not alone and you're not broken. The sun in Gemini is shaking your mind, not to confuse you, but to wake you up. This isn't chaos, it's a cosmic upgrade. And the fact that you're here, listening, means you're one of the few being called to use this energy, not get lost in it. If this resonated, like the video, subscribe and drop "I ride the duality" in the comments to claim your clarity. Stay sharp, because what's coming next will change everything.